Good morning and welcome to the Kent County Finance Committee. Thank you everybody for being here this morning. We're going to go ahead and get started because it is 8:32. We're going to start this morning with public comment. If there's anybody from the public that wishes to speak. Okay, seeing none, we will move on to our consent agenda. Excuse me. Do I have a motion for approval of our consent agenda?
So moved. Support.
Moved by Commissioner Sparks, supported by Commissioner Steck. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. The consent agenda is passed. So that takes us to item number 3. We have a resolution from Fiscal Services.
Yes, action requested. Recommend to the Board of Commissioners to appropriate $5,260,701.92 in the Special Projects Fund for projects that have been allocated American Rescue Plan, ARPA funding in amounts as follows. Equitable Housing Initiative, $392,000. Hispanic Community Development Financial Institutions Fund, $1,709,836. The Domestic Violence Action Network, $2,399,382. In the School Safety Radio Network, $759,483.92. Further recommend to the Board of Commissioners to appropriate $417,227.92 in the Special Projects Fund for use that will be determined by the Board of Commissioners at a later date. Summary. Kent County received $127,605,807 in funding from the federal government through the Coronavirus State and Local Fiscal Recovery Fund enacted by the American Rescue Plan of 2021. The Kent County Board of Commissioners subsequently allocated and appropriated ARPA funding to the Coronavirus Relief Fund via previous board resolutions. Under guidance from the U.S. Department of Treasury, all funds must have been obligated by December 31 of 2024. Because the funding indicated above for these projects is not yet under contract, moving this funding from the Coronavirus Relief Fund to the Special Projects Fund was deemed necessary to ensure compliance with DOT guidance. This action was completed prior to the end of 2024. In order to ensure funding continues to be allocated to the designated projects, the Board of Commissioners must appropriate the funds in the Special Projects Fund. The undesignated amount of $417,227.92 remains from projects that have been completed and will be appropriated to other projects by future board actions.
Do I have a motion for this resolution?
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Steck, support by Commissioner Green. Are there any comments or questions on this? Commissioner Steck.
Thank you, Chair Teal. So, and I asked this question earlier. Again, all of these allocations are consistent with what the board had allocated back in 2022. So we had simply shifted the money from the original allocation to the special needs in order to meet the requirements of ARPA. We're now allocating that consistent with that.
Correct.
So my question though is, I know that that we've accumulated some interest on these monies, and that's not accounted for in this particular.
It is not. We do intend to bring a resolution to finance probably within about a month for allocation of interest earnings to the Special Projects Fund.
And that's in addition to the 417,000 here.
Correct.
Yeah.
The 417 really is about 5 or 6 projects that came in under
budget.
And so those funds are being allocated for reallocation by the board at a future time.
And again, none of these funds are subjected to the ARPA deadline because they've gone through our reimbursement.
Right. The board took 2 actions and even extra action to make absolutely sure everything was allocated, but we do continue to get guidelines from the feds, and so we're just being ultra conservative to make sure that nothing is eligible to be clawed back if that becomes a thing.
Will we be taking about 6 months to allocate that $1 million? Or we haven't thought how we're going to do that
No.
allocation? Yeah, okay.
No, but I'm guessing in special, when we do have a number of building projects that we believe are going to need additional funds, so that's a
I
likely.
understand. Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions or comments on this resolution? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The motion is approved. That takes us to item number 4 from the administrator's office regarding the prevention initiative funding allocation.
Action requested. Recommend to the Board of Commissioners to approve the allocation of $10,000 in prevention programming funds to support the Kent County Tax Credit Coalition as recommended by the Administrator's Office. Summary. The Board of Commissioners created the Prevention Programming Fund in 2002 to support the county's prevention initiative, which funds early interventions to prevent costly social and health problems. The Board of Commissioners allocated $1,091,250 for the FY25 Prevention Initiative programming to 6 agencies serving young parents and families facing significant risk factors such as homelessness, domestic violence, and involvement with Child Protective Services. The adopted budget includes $373,750 additional prevention programming dollars to be allocated for other unanticipated needs. The recommended new allocation of $10,000 will fund the Kent County Tax Credit Coalition through the Heart of West Michigan United Way. The coalition provides free tax preparation and financial literacy courses to help eligible households receive important refunds during tax season to support economic stability. Assistant Corporate Counsel will review and approve the agreement as to form.
Motion from Commissioner Sparks. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Green. Are there any comments or questions regarding this? Commissioner Stack.
This is fun, isn't it?
Sure is.
For you.
I guess my question is, how is this program administered? I mean, how many people do we anticipate this will serve, and how do you select who gets this service and who has to go to TurboTax online and do it?
So this service has been in place actually since 2002, and for the 2023 tax year, they served 7,998 people.
With $10,000?
Yes, it's volunteer run. The funding supports staff time for our guest, Ms. Brain, who's here from the United Way today, her time in managing the program, and then supplies for each of the 10 sites where folks can go to get their tax assistance. So it's supplies and staff time to make that happen. But the volunteers are the core of the program.
Are those accountants that are volunteering, or?
Mostly, and they're required to get particular training through the United Way in advance.
Okay.
So yeah, and you had inquired also about how you qualify. $60,000 income or less qualifies to participate, and most folks get engaged through calling 211 seeking assistance. The average income of those who are served today is $25,000.
Is there a waiting list, or do we able to serve everybody?
She can answer that question.
Trying to make my first committee meeting last longer than 15 minutes.
Good morning, everyone. There is not a waiting list. We try to serve as many people as we possibly can who calls 211 to get an appointment. However, to help those who may not be able to get an appointment, we have community tax days in place, which are different from the regular days. And everyone is served through a certified IRS volunteer. We have a volunteer corps of a minimum of 195 volunteers who just volunteer. And we're in the process of training now. Oh, and just in case you want to know, we do background checks on everyone. Did I say too much?
On your volunteers. On your volunteers.
On my volunteers?
You do background checks on your
We
volunteers.
do background checks on everyone.
Oh.
Yes. If you participate at that site in any capacity, even if you're a greeter, we do a background check on you, and you must certify as a volunteer standard of conduct. Meaning, if you're a greeter, you have to take an ethical test because you cannot solicit anyone who walks through the door. It's absolutely free.
Good, thank you.
Commissioner Sparks.
Thank you, Chair Till. I just want to congratulate you on this program. We affectionately call this wonderful lady, Ma Brain, in our community because she has been over this program for years. And this program is well known in the community. And I'm glad that we're able to help fund this program because it is a very worthy program. And thank you for your levels of standards that we all know that you hold so high. And I'm just really excited that we're able to partner.
Thank you so
Much
much.
needed.
Thank you.
Commissioner Green.
Thank you, Chair Teal. Just briefly, the $10,000 that we allocate, two questions. Was that the same allocation that we gave in the prior year as well? And go ahead, I'm sorry.
Over the history of the program, you all have you're either allocated 10,000 or 9,500.
Okay.
It's always been between the two, no less and no more.
Okay, and then my follow-up question was, that doesn't cover the entire cost of the program.
Oh, no,
Okay,
no.
sure, okay.
It doesn't. What I make sure that I do is that I stretch everything, and I can show you, if you ask, where those dollars go. Because what my goal is to be a good steward of the funders as well as a good steward of the volunteer time, meaning a wonderful time for the volunteer experience, a wonderful, we're going to stretch those funds, and then it's going to be a service with dignity when those low to moderate income taxpayers walk through the door.
Thank you. Let's, if we can be sure to get that information out to the public through our channels, that would be excellent. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, is there any other comments or questions regarding this resolution? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. The motion is approved. That takes us to number 5 on our agenda, miscellaneous. Is there any commissioner miscellaneous this morning? Seeing none, that concludes our business and we are adjourned. Thank you all for being here.
Pretty good first meeting, I would say.
Started a couple minutes late and you're done early.